Well, hello, loves, and happy Sunday to you. So today is a little bit of a continuation from last Sunday. So last Sunday, I created this one, and it was inspired by a color palette, and that's all I knew at the time. I thought about florals, but I wasn't sure, and it was just taking one step at a time and seeing where things went. So, because of that, because of this piece, I actually fell in love with this piece. I love the color. I love the background. I actually love the flowers too. I like it all. So with that, now I want to kind of take it a step further and really kind of make it my own. I want more numbers or letters, and I want more grunge. So I like all of that, but I want a little bit more grunge. So that's the journey I'm on today. Along with, I got a new message on my phone. I have an app from Morgan Harper Nichols that sends you a message every day. And this message, I think it was either yesterday or today. I don't know. It is perfect. That kind of goes along with some of this, because last week I talked about following your inspiration. Don't be afraid. And I'm always talking about being brave and afraid at the same time. And that's a lot of what creating is. So I'll share that in just a minute. A couple of things. The stencils that I use today will be on sale, including the new ones that I use. And then also I want to let you know that also available to you now, to the public, that this is it's called the Heart of Gratitude workshop. And it's a really simple, easy way to just kind of settle into some fun, creative time. These pages took me literally 20 minutes to complete, and the videos that you'll see of the pages are about 10 to 15 minutes. So it's a small snippet of time that you can get inspired and do them so easily. We do some gel printing, we do some warm-ups, we do some kind of soft backgrounds that require very little supplies and really easy supplies that don't cost a lot of money, that don't take a lot of dry time, all that kind of stuff. So, and I'm bringing it to you in November because November here in the U.S. is Thanksgiving, and it's a chance for us to really ponder what we're grateful for. And so we can do that by doing just a really small journal. And I made this journal with you for the exact number of pages that we create. And let's kind of give you a little flip through here. And, you know, my words will be different than your words of what you'll be grateful for. But really simple and easy projects, 12 pages, 12 days, or however long you want to take. This workshop, you know, it's yours forever. So you can take your time, but they're super simple pages. I wanted it to be that way because I want us to just take a snapshot of what we're grateful for and then try and convey that in our pages in a very short period of time. And that also goes along with all of my messages all the time, just showing up. My pages are not perfect. They're messy. There were a lot of things that I wanted to go further with and really define, and I didn't do that because I only had 20 minutes. But I want to show you that you can learn, grow, and get ideas from just that amount of time. I made a smaller journal with you. We do the cover. We do the back page that kind of documents our journey through our 12 days. And so this will be available to you when you see this video at early bird pricing for only $37. So, and it's yours for life. So you can take it as fast or as slow as you want. So that's my heart of gratitude. Okay, now let's talk about, set that there. Let's talk about this project. Okay, so now my color palette was my inspiration from last week. Now this is my inspiration, and I want to alter my thought process about this. So I am going just a little bit bigger. So this one was a 9 by 12. This is a 12 by 16. 12 by 16. So it's a little bit bigger. I have a little bit more room. I have my color palette that I used from this other piece. So I can see kind of the mixtures of what I made. This is a great color palette to collage with. And that's why I love creating on parchment paper, because I can just take them out and I can save them if I'm particularly enamored with with whatever I've done. Or I can cut it up, like this swatch of something would be great in a background, and it may end up in this background. So I have my color palette, and then I have some stencils out. I do want to do some florals. I want them to be very simple, because I want the background to really kind of, I mean, these will probably be the focal point, but I want the background to be grungy. I want to see some texture, but I also want that kind of same color palette with some raw umber and some Payne's gray, just kind of grunging up the whole thing. And then I have some of my new stencils, the letters and numbers stencils, including the new 5x8s. So I have those, and whatever I use, I don't know what I'm going to use yet. Whatever I use, those will be on sale. Okay. Then I also have out here, these are the papers that I did from 3 weeks ago. I'll have all of these videos that I'm talking about, last week's and then the week before, where I kind of introduced you to some of the new stencils and we did some gel printing. Yummy. So I did the gel printing in that video, and I have a ton left over. So I'm going to use some of that for the background and some of it for the foreground. That's what I want to do. I want to kind of bring that grungy bit more to the foreground. And so I'll be collaging some of these bits on top and then kind of integrating them in. I'm going to have some collage paper in the back, because that's going to give me some interest and some texture. Okay, so, and then I also have out some just regular collage paper. That's what's going to go first. Just some generic collage paper that I have on my table. These may make their way into the forefront of the piece, but I'm not exactly sure. Now, I may end up doing a couple of the larger numbers or letters on tissue paper. And the reason I want to do it on tissue paper is, again, because I want that to be more of the forefront, but I also want it to be somewhat transparent. And I love using collage paper because I can audition it. And that's what I want to do. So I think that's probably what I'll do. So I have some tissue paper out ready to go. I have all of my colors from last week. Prism Violet. This is Matisse's Southern Ocean Blue. This is Rosy Red, Quin Magenta, Sunshine, Cad Orange, and what was my others? Oh, Payne's Gray. And then, of course, I'll be using some raw umber, and most likely some light mocha, yellow ochre. And I have some other yellow ochre here. This yellow ochre. Those are the colors. Oh, some green. I definitely need green. Olive green and green gold. And I think that's it for the colors that I'll be using today. And then, what else did I want to tell you? Oh, the other thing I wanted to tell you. So I pulled this canvas out, and I have like I have them standing up in my kind of storage area. And it's got a little dent in it because another canvas was leaning against it. But I wanted to just quickly tell you what you can do to get rid of those kind of dents or sags. Sometimes our canvas will sag if it's not a really great, really expensive one. One of the things that you can do is this is just water, and this is where that dent is. I will spray this, and then kind of put that water back in there. And what that does is it gets in there, and once it dries, it tightens that canvas back up. And already the dent is gone. So, and then once it dries, it'll tighten up. Now, the other thing that I'm going to do on this canvas, because I'm going to be using a lot of paper and a lot of texture, that kind of thing, I'm also going to gesso the back of my canvas. And what that does is that makes it stronger as well. So all I will do is I will just lay down my gesso here, grab my brush, and I'm not going to be too particular about this. I just want to get a good coat. And when that dries, then it stiffens up the canvas. And so it makes it a little bit sturdier if I'm going to be using a palette knife to get some texture. And speaking of texture, let me get that in there. So you get the idea. I'll go back over this so that it's nice and even and everything. I don't need to do it all with you right now. But then once that dries, it really stiffens up the canvas. So I'm just going to set that right there, turn that over, and that dent over here is gone already. So let me leave that like that. Texture-wise, I will be using some Utrecht gesso. It's a heavier gesso. It's professional gesso. And then I will also be using my black and white gesso, Liquitex black and white gesso, and some matte gel, and probably fluid matte medium, because I need the fluid matte medium for my tissue paper. It helps the tissue paper go more transparent, because I can get a lot of medium on there and kind of tap it in. And matte gel's too stiff, and you have to be very gentle when you're using your tissue paper. So I'll be using both of those. Okay. I think that is it that I know for now. It's going to be more abstract, more graphic, which is what I love. And so I'm working to try and incorporate those two things in. Okay. So the whole point of this last week was about following your inspiration. Once we follow that inspiration, we get more ideas. We get more confident, and we get braver to try something else. So I know that I love the color palette. That was one thing I learned. I know that I loved the mixture of some of that floral and the numbers. And that's the second thing I learned. And the other thing I learned was I want more grunge, because that's what I love. So how do I incorporate that? I continue to experiment. I continue to be brave and go to the canvas or the journal or whatever you create in and try something, even if it doesn't work out. And that's always a risk, especially when, I'm creating in front of you. But that was my thought process. And then I got Morgan Harper Nichols' message this week. And it says, the main quote was, small acts of bravery. Do not think less of yourself if you cannot be fearless. Nobody's fearless. Doing it afraid is just as brave. And I was like, this is why Morgan Harper Nichols and I are best friends. Because I say it all the time. So she goes on to say, in those moments where uncertainty feels magnified and you wonder if finding answers is the only way to feel whole, may you remember this: there is no need to think less of yourself if boldness doesn't arrive all at once, which it never does. Strength often comes in flickers, like the gradual warmth of the sun, building slowly and steadily with each passing moment. If ever you find yourself thinking, what if I can't be as strong as I need to be? Or saying, what if I never feel ready? When it comes to making art, when it comes to taking the job, when it comes to asking the question, what if I never feel ready? Remember that just as the sun doesn't rush to shine all at once, you can allow yourself to grow into this. One moment at a time, each new day you rise up is an act of bravery all on its own. Each time you show up here is an act of bravery all on its own. And gradually, as you dabble and you do things and you try things, you build those courage muscles. While bravery is often defined as taking on the unknown with confidence and fearlessness, this remains true. Bravery also lives, and she says this remains true. For me, I have never taken on the unknown feeling completely confident and fearless. Never in my life. Maybe some have, but I have not. But bravery is also lives in soft moments. It is found in the small acts, the gentle persistence, the quiet decisions to keep going despite the unknown. I don't know what will happen today. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know if my business will continue. Who knows? We have to take one step at a time. Bravery is, at its heart, can be simply showing up. I love her. She reads my mind. Knowing that strength does not have to be loud to be real. So she goes on a little bit more, but that's the gist of her message. And it was exactly what I was thinking, what I was feeling, and what I continue to say over and over and over again. Showing up is an act of bravery, and it doesn't mean that we have the answers, and it doesn't mean that we're completely courageous and fearless. We're just here, learning something new, one step at a time. So I hope that inspires you. I hope that my steps inspire you. I hope that I can always be an encouragement to you on your creative journey or your life journey, whatever things that I can inspire you in. I pray for that every day. So I hope that and this will inspire you today. I hope your Sunday is restful and peaceful, and I hope that you always, always know that you are loved.